Hey everybody, it is Dylan. I'm the owner and founder of Abundance Real Estate. And in this video, I'm going to talk to you about some of the changes that you can expect as a buyer in California as a result of the National Association of Realtors' big headline settlement with the courts and the justice system. And the way I'm going to explain it today is starting with an understanding of the old model and then comparing that to the new current model. So traditionally, in the old model, a homeowner would decide to sell, so they would hire a listing agent, and the seller would need to pay two commissions. They would need to pay one commission to their listing agent, and then they would need to allocate another commission to whatever agent represented the buyer of their home. That model was in place for many, many decades, and until recently, it wasn't a problem until the courts and the justice system said, hey, why is the seller being forced to pay a commission to the agent of the buyer, and that agent doesn't even represent the seller? That doesn't make sense. When you look at it, it really doesn't. The seller shouldn't be paying two commissions. Big headline settlement. National Association of Realtors settled for about $400 million. And in the settlement agreement, there were two big changes that the Association of Realtors agreed upon. And this is what is going to affect your home buying purchase today and moving forward. Change number one. The first change is that sellers are no longer obligated to pay two commissions. They're only obligated to pay the commission to the agent that they choose to hire. And that commission is not set by law, it's totally negotiable. As for the buyer agent, that commission no longer has to be paid by the seller. It can be paid by the seller if the seller chooses to pay it, but as we will see coming forward, I think a lot of sellers will choose not to pay it. And in those circumstances, the buyer's agent, the agent representing the buyer, will need to negotiate a fee with their client, the buyer. So with this new model, the seller pays their listing agent the fee, and the buyer is responsible for paying their agent the fee. Pretty standard, pretty normal, and kind of what you'd expect all along, really, right? So that's the first change. Change number two, as a result of the settlement agreement, says that real estate agents that are working with buyers must have an agreement signed with their buyer, with their client, before showing them properties in person. And that agreement basically specifies that that agent has been hired by the buyer to represent them in their home search and their home purchase. And in that representation agreement, the fee is also outlined. So breaking it down, buyers will not pay a commission every time they buy a home, because many sellers will still choose to offer a buyer broker commission because it might help advertise their home. It might help push a buyer's agent to show that home more often. So in the situations that a seller chooses to not pay a buyer broker, then new model, the buyer simply pays their real estate agent directly at close of escrow. Those are the two main changes. If you have any questions about this, please reach out. I've been getting a lot of questions from my existing sellers and buyers about how this is going to unfold. So thought I'd make this video for you guys and everybody going forward. Look forward to talking with you and working with you on your real estate goals.